If you're looking at this right now, you're considering surgical weight loss. This is something that I have made the decision to do, and I'd like to talk about it with people who cared about it, who may have questions, and who want to hear from someone who's not a medical professional, who's a regular person that has decided to make this option for her life. Hi, my name is Sonya Bennett. I am 37 years old. I have no children. I'm single by choice, and I am 318 pounds. At the time of this taking, I will be pre-op for my duodenal switch, which is called the gastric bypass, 2 days from now. I'm very excited. It will be April 17th, 2008, which I consider my new birthday. And I am very nervous but excited at the same time. At this time, I am diabetic. I have high cholesterol. I have a history of heart disease in my family. And I have sleep apnea, which is a condition where I stop breathing in my sleep. All of these things are weight related, and that has brought me to the decision of having the gastric bypass. It has taken me a year to prepare. However, I have considered the gastric bypass for the past 10 years. They've now perfected it to the point where I believe it will be beneficial to me, and I'm looking forward to having it. I have two friends who are also pre-op. I do hope to talk to them, but at this time this was the only opportunity that I would have to make this video, and I'm looking forward to it being educational, emotional. I do know that there will be some things in it that will teach others who are interested in surgical weight loss things from a real point of view. As I said, I'm not a medical professional. I'm just a regular woman who has decided to make this huge decision in her life. And I've been met with opposition. I have been met with people who support me. I have many people in my life who've had this surgery. There are some people in my life who have had the lap band and the Roux-en-Y, which are two other surgical procedures, but I have chosen the gastric bypass, and I think it's a perfect decision for me. Today is April 15th, 2008. I am preparing to pack my bag to go to the Barracks Center, which is in Ypsilanti, Michigan. They only perform surgical weight loss, and I have made the decision to go to them versus an area hospital because I believe that they will be supportive. They have been supportive mentally, and I believe that physically they will know how to handle any problem that may come up. I've had to see an anesthesiologist. I've had to do many blood tests. I've had to do a psychological exam. And as I said, the process is taking about a year and is finally coming to an end.
Sonya, why don't you talk about the emotional struggles that you've had with your weight?
Well,
give us a little history going back.
I have been overweight all of my life. I am a twin. We're fraternal, so we don't look anything alike. She's always been much smaller than me, and that's always been the joke of, you know, did you eat all the food in the womb and leave her with nothing? So that's always been a joke that I've had to deal with, which brought me to the point of being able to laugh about my size. And I've always accepted and known that I was a beautiful woman. However, I have just lived with the cards that I've been dealt. I've tried every weight loss program there is. LA weight loss, medical weight loss, Weight Watchers. When I was a kid, my mother would put me on diets. I couldn't eat the same thing my sisters could, which always made me sneak food. You know, I can remember in high school that I would order pizzas and keep them in my closet so that my mother wouldn't know that I had the food, but that I would have easy access to it. So my weight has fluctuated up and down. I've lost weight, never a considerable amount of weight, and one of the reasons that I think this will be a good choice for me is it will prohibit me from eating the things that I eat. I am an emotional eater. If I'm happy, I eat. If I'm sad, I eat. If I'm depressed, I eat. And I am hoping that I will be able to channel those feelings to do something else. Hopefully working out. That's what I'm hoping, that I will start to work out instead of eating. I don't propose that anyone should do this just for a vanity reason. As I said, I have no problem with my appearance. I've always dated. I've never had a problem with meeting men. A friend of mine told me yesterday that men don't like skinny women, so I may have a problem meeting men now, but I've never had a problem prior to now, and I'm just looking forward to a new start. I am hoping that this gastric bypass will be the foundation for me to start over in my life, understanding the way to eat properly and to put into place the things that I've learned all my life that I've done, but they've never stuck. I've always known how to eat correctly, but if you lose 5 or 10 pounds and then you gain them right back in a week, then it's frustrating. And I've been through that yo-yo thing, up and down, and I just don't want to do it anymore.
What are some of the friends and family, what are they saying specifically?
Well, my sister, my twin sister, seems to think that I could have gone another route and that I'm giving up by doing this. She doesn't understand why I would voluntarily have someone cut my stomach open as if it's some easy decision. She's never been any bigger than a size 12, so I don't expect her to understand. She doesn't understand what it's like to not be able to breathe at night and to have to wear a mask that blows air up your nose just so that you can sleep properly. For the majority, my friends have been supportive, but of course I do have some friends who think that this is a quick fix, or that possibly I will be successful initially but fall into old habits, and I'm not doing this to prove anyone wrong or to prove anything to anyone. I just want to make sure that I'm healthy. I'd like to have children one day, and the older I get, the bigger I get. Those chances are small. So as much as I love all of my friends and my family, I'm doing this for my health.
What are some of the special prejudices that you've encountered?
Well, for 12 years I was a freelance court reporter in Michigan, and as much as a court reporter is usually seen as just a person in the corner, in certain settings they're seen as the eye candy in the corner. And as much as I didn't want to believe it, during that time I did learn that my size had a lot to do with the types of jobs I would receive, the lack of jobs that I would receive. It was physically tiring for me to get to some of the places that I had to be. But the worst part was when I would come in and people would look at me like, who are you? Surely you aren't the court reporter. I definitely have faced a lot of opposition in terms of going into stores. Like, I'll never forget a situation. I went into Victoria's Secret one day, and I was going in to buy fragrances for my sister, and the salesperson straight up said to me, "We don't have anything to fit you." And I left the store crying, and I vowed I would never buy anything from Victoria's Secret again, but I have. But I couldn't believe that she would just say that. It really opened my eyes to size discrimination and the fact that people do look at you for your outer appearance before anything else. I can be dressed just as neat and provocative as a woman who is smaller than me and still be looked at as, well, she's still fat. And though there are so many men who are closet, big, beautiful women lovers, there are many more men, I think, that are swayed by society to go for the Tyra Banks look, or the woman who is a little more physically appealing. So though I've not had a problem with my size and being able to attract someone, I noticed that there are a lot of people in this world that do look and and judge me for my size.
Okay, what about physical inabilities?
Physically, I look forward to being able to walk. I've never wanted to walk. You know, I've always joked about I don't want to be that fat girl that's walking down the street and somebody drives by and thinks, yeah, she needs to be walking. You know, I like to exercise in ways that don't draw a lot of attention to me. Being in a class that may be an aerobics class. Well, physically, I do look forward to being able to exercise and doing just regular exercises that other people take for granted. Walking is difficult for me because my feet hurt. I get out of breath quickly. I do like to be in atmospheres where I blend in with the crowd when it has something to do with exercise. Aerobics classes or swim aerobics where I'm just another fat face in the crowd. And I do look forward to just getting out and walking through the neighborhood, walking my little fat dog, and just really doing things that other people just take for granted. Also physically, I look forward to not having to check my blood sugar every morning and every evening. I look forward to not having to take the medicine that I have to take every morning and every evening. I look forward to not having to sleep with the CPAP machine that I use, which blows air up my nose. I look forward to things that people just take for granted. I'm also looking forward to things that are so expensive. My bras, my clothes. I'm looking forward to just going into the store and just buying something off the rack without spending my paycheck to do it. I'm looking forward to being able to buy just little cheap things that I just, again, things that people take for granted. I can't just go buy a t-shirt without it being $12, and that's if it's on sale. So I'm looking forward to that also.
Has travel been a problem for you?
Well, I, thank God, have never been one of those people that has to purchase 2 seats when they fly. But I do have to use a seatbelt extender. In fact, I have my own personal seatbelt extender that I have, and I do use it when I fly. I have been discriminated against in terms of size on the plane where I've sat down and people who are next to me get up and move. And I know that that's because I am scrunched in my seat and easing over a little bit to their seat. And as embarrassing as that is, I'll never forget a trip that I took where my friends and I were in the emergency aisle and I couldn't fasten my seatbelt. I didn't have a seatbelt extender. I didn't want to ask for one because I knew they were going to come and bring it to me loud and embarrassing. And they... Stop, Daryl, stop. Think of something else. I'm going to just have to cut that out altogether. I can't even tell that story.
But it inspired me to ride the plane because you said that, though. When I rode the plane the first time.
I don't know that I could get it out, though.
Well, it might inspire somebody else. I would never rode a plane if you hadn't told me that story. I probably would have thought it was a reason not to go to Florida.
I know. Okay, alright. Alright, let me try to get it.
Tissue?
Yeah. I guess I better not say the airline, huh?
Oh, we will say airline.
Okay. I can recall an incident where my friends and I were traveling to another state, and we are all people of size. The 2 gentlemen who were with us have long legs, and we decided to sit in the emergency aisle. This particular airline, you could pick wherever you wanted to sit, and we sat in the emergency aisle so that the guys would have enough room for their legs and we would have enough room as we were sitting. the stewardess came by. I did not have a seatbelt extender, and she asked me if I was wearing a seatbelt because I had my jacket over my lap because I couldn't fasten my seatbelt. And I told her that I did not have it, and we literally were taxiing down the runway, and they stopped the plane, and had I not been able to fasten that seatbelt, they wanted me to leave the plane. The flight was full. There was no place else for me to sit. It was extremely embarrassing, and I did get that seatbelt on. I was uncomfortable for the entire 2-hour flight, but it taught me to always have my seatbelt extender, and as much as it was embarrassing, I'll never forget that, and I'm looking forward to never having to go through that again.
Are you planning to, after you start losing weight, are you planning to continue with surgeries for the loose skin that you might have, or other cosmetic surgeries because of the fast weight loss?
Yes, luckily my decision in going to the Barracks Clinic also surrounds the fact that they do have cosmetic surgeons, and included in the entire surgical process is the option to do cosmetic surgery, which is really necessary medically because there will be so much skin hanging, and I'm prepared for that. Mentally, I don't know what I'm going to look like, and I do know what I'm going to look like. I've always had a round face. I've always been fat, and but I do plan to have my breasts lifted, my butt lifted. I plan to have all the skin from my stomach lifted, and I mean I am going to exercise, and hopefully some of that stuff will tighten, but I know that with it coming off so fast that I am going to have cosmetic surgery in about 1.5 years, so I'm looking forward to that.
Is there anything that you're looking forward to buying specifically once you lose the weight?
Well, I am looking forward to buying a swimsuit, one that doesn't have a skirt. I am not anticipating that I want to be in a bikini or anything too revealing, but I'm looking forward to a swimsuit that will show my curves, that I don't have to hide anything, the little skirt that covers my big thighs and the cover-up that covers my big arms. I'm looking forward to that, and I also can't wait to buy shirts that don't have sleeves because I don't like to show my arms because they're big and they have stretch marks, and they have rolls and all of that. So my first shopping spree, I'm going to definitely get a very cute swimsuit, and I'm going to include it in this documentary. So, yeah.
So do you think that your weight loss is going to change how people view you?
Actually, it already has, and I haven't even done it. I remember a long time ago, I was much younger, and I got saved, and I was in the church, and surprisingly, people who knew me all my life viewed me as a hypocrite, even though I was trying to change my life. They always wanted to bring up, well, what about when you used to do this and that? And I find that I'm going through the same thing now. People who, oh, you're going to be a mess after you lose your weight, and you don't think you sold this and that. And I mean, I already do. My people, especially my coworkers who haven't known me very long, and they don't know me outside of the workplace, and they feel like after I lose the weight, I'm going to have a higher opinion of myself. And I do. I mean, I think that all people of size, in some way or another, have some issues with their body, whether they want to admit it or not. I don't believe that my personality will change. I think I'm still going to be me, just in a smaller body. But people around me, surprisingly, have really expressed that they feel, yeah, I'm going to think I'm better than them. I'm going to not want to hang around them. And it's been something I wasn't expecting, especially with people that I've known almost all my life.
Do you think that you're going to change yourself as far as, you know, wanting to hang with your quote-unquote fat friends, and you know, are you going? Do you think that you're going to get really like preachy? You know, oh, you shouldn't eat that, and you know, things of that nature.
I do not believe that I'm going to change, but you never know. I don't think that I'm going to get preachy. When I became diabetic, my diet had to change considerably, and I have not tried to force that on other people, although, you know, I do have many fat friends, and they don't eat the right things. I don't either, but I would like to think that I have never forced my opinions on anyone, and I don't think that this is going to be anything different. I think to each his own, and again, I feel like I have lived with the deck that I was dealt, and we all make our own decisions, and I would just hope that my friends make proper ones, but I don't want to force my decisions on anyone.
So do you think there will be a negative to your weight loss?
I do have concerns about the duodenal switch, because I do know people who have had that surgery and have had medical problems afterwards. I had a dear friend who had an infection, and I know people who have developed shingles and other iron deficiency problems. I just believe that I won't have any of those problems. I'm prepared to do everything by the book that they've told me to do. The vitamins, I'm prepared to take those every day. If I can take my diabetic medicine every day, I can definitely take a chewable vitamin every day. I'm prepared to eat the way they want me to. The first 4 weeks will just be liquid, just Jell-O, popsicles, and bouillon, and my roommate and I are going to go shopping and stock up on all of that good stuff soon so that I can have it here. I believe I have willpower, and I think that I'm going to do a good job with this.
All right, well, what's the one thing you're going to miss as far as the, you know, the change in your eating habits?
Ice cream. I'm going to miss ice cream, because when I'm sad or depressed, ice cream is my friend, and I'm going to miss that friend, because it just makes me happy, and I'm going to miss it.
What are some of the side effects of the surgery?
Well, the side effects vary by individual. As I said, I had an aunt who initially had no side effects, but later had a lot of iron deficiencies. Hair loss is something that I hear of a lot. However, if you take your protein, you won't have that problem. And I bought a great big thing of protein that I've already started tasting so that I can get used to it. I do know that there are many bone deficiencies. Again, you have to take your vitamins and your calcium. I know people who had liver problems, kidney problems. It's a dangerous surgery. It's not something that should be taken lightly. It is attaching your upper esophagus to your lower esophagus to make your stomach very small, and it's not a natural thing. I don't have a gallbladder. That's going to help me, because if I had a gallbladder, then the bypass that they're doing would go to my gallbladder, which is a filter that we all have, but luckily I don't have mine, so they anticipate that I won't have any problems. Although I am 318 pounds, they do not anticipate they'll have to do the full cut, which would keep me on my back for 6 weeks. They're prepared to do the laparoscopic, and that will have me up and around in 2 weeks. I am taking 6 weeks off work, but that's by choice, not by necessity.
What are are some of the different procedures that are available for gastric bypass?
Well, there is the duodenal switch, which is what I'm having. That is, as I said, the upper esophagus and the lower esophagus connected to make your stomach the size of a small little pouch. There's the Roux-en-Y, which makes your stomach a small pouch, but does not connect the large esophagus to the small esophagus. It just makes your stomach small. And there's the lap band, which I personally, my doctor suggested at first. I chose not to do that because with the lap band, every 4 to 6 weeks you do have to come back in for adjustments. Those adjustments are not painful, but if I'm going to have something so drastic, I don't want to come back and be reminded of it every 4 to 6 weeks for a year. Also, your weight loss is not always as much as it would be with the major surgical procedures. But as this documentary goes into more detail, I will give very detailed descriptions of all 3 procedures. There's also another procedure that is fairly new, and as this process goes on, I will discuss that as well.
What will be the size of your stomach as far as capacity?
Capacity initially, I will only be able to have a teaspoon of food every 2 hours initially. That's why the first 4 weeks will just be liquids, but the 5th week through the 10th week I'll be able to eat pureed foods, baby foods. My stomach will stretch out a little bit more. However, it will never get any larger than a baseball if I don't allow it to, and I don't plan to allow it to get any larger than that.
What did the doctor say for your expected weight loss in the first, give us increments like 3 months, 6 months, a year? What are your goals in the same time period?
Well, my doctor actually, as I asked him, could not gauge. Everyone's weight loss is different. I do expect within the first 3 months that I'll lose more than 50 pounds. By a year, overall, I would like to lose about 200 pounds. That would make me 118, which is very small. But if the doctor says that most weight loss for my size and my height can range between 100 and 150 pounds. I fully expect to at least make that mark. Those are my personal goals. I don't want to set many limits on myself because I expect to just let things go the way they go. That really, I really didn't like that question because being that I have been up and down with my weight loss all my life, and I tend to set goals for myself, and actual weight loss clinics will set goals for me, and if I don't reach those goals, then I'm disappointed in myself. So I can't say that if I don't lose 50 pounds in 3 months that I'm going to be disappointed. I just don't know. I haven't set, my goal is to be healthy and to be successful in this. I haven't set actual number goals.